Joshua, can you hear me? Hello?
Hi. Yes,
Hi, good morning. It looks like I'm trying to find, oh, you're not supposed to be here until 9:10.
I'm not supposed to. Oh, I thought it was for 8.
I've got 9:10.
Okay. So get back on at 9:10.
It may
Yep,
be a
I
we
would.
should find
Um
out you're in Atlanta.
is it a time difference? Because I'm in Atlanta.
You know what? Let's just keep you on. It's on 8 o'clock right now here. So just,
Okay,
you know
what
what, the prosecutor's gonna sign on. Maybe he'll hear your case now.
I'm sorry, yes, man. I mean, but it's no problem if you guys need me to call back at 9.
That's all right. But I do have just a question for you. Are you still on Terminus?
You
Do-
still live on
Oh, I'm at 5659 Halsey Trace.
wait. Can you give it to me one more time, please?
Yes, ma'am. 5659 Halsey, HALSEY Trace, Atlanta, Georgia, 30349.
HALSE, and then what was the second part?
HALSEY.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Trace, Atlanta, Georgia.
Is it
Three.
Trace, Trace?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you. And one last question. Do you wish to speak with an in-house attorney or do you just want to speak with the prosecutor?
Just the prosecutor.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Mena. How are you?
Good. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's good to see you. I'm glad
Yeah.
you're with us now for a few months.
Yeah, exactly. Back at it.
Um, I've got Mr. Myers here, that wishes to speak with you. So I'll put him in your breakout room, or you can, whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'll get him.
He's scheduled at 9:10, but I just figured since you were here, you you wouldn't mind handling him now, or whatever you want to do.
No, we'll do him right now. So I'll
Okay.
move him into my meeting room and we'll talk to him there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Dan Batar, good morning.
Good morning, Marianne. How are you today?
Hey, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. I have lots of energy this morning and I'm ready to get through the docket. How
Well,
are
it
you?
looks like it's just us two that are ready to go, apparently.
Hi, Jim Mena is here.
Oh, is he? Okay, he's in
Yeah.
person?
Nope, he's not in person. He's
Oh, he's
somewhere.
on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
oh, I see him. He's already working. Look, he's got a
I
wave off.
I know it. So it's going to be a good day.
I hope so. That kid doesn't look too bad. Could always be worse.
Oh, you just did it. You just hexed us.
Never.
All
All right, I'll go in my little hole and I'll be there if anyone needs me for anything.
right, thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Marlisa, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm rearing for the day. Did you have a nice long weekend?
I did. How about you? Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah, I did. They fly though, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Here we are, but it's a short week. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Exactly. We'll get through it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for today.
Oh, you're welcome. See you in a little while.
Okay.
See the
You can
call on your phone.
Yeah, I just got on to make sure. You know what? That's my bad. Once again, trying to help you.
But you hurting me though.
How? How the fuck
Like,
I hurt you?
like, I don't know why you don't understand. Like, that's like the biggest no-no, bro. You cannot, like, we can't do that.
Can't do what?
Here you go. Hey, Mary Ann.
Yeah, hey, Jim.
I moved Mr. Myers to the main session and he is gone.
Hmm.
So he wants to set his breach of security for a trial. So just so that we're aware,
Okay.
we're off to a great start.
Yeah, I had such high hopes for today. I really did. All right, if he comes
Uh,
back, I'll let the judge know.
Yeah, but right now, I don't know what happened to him.
Okay, I'll look for him.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mary Ann?
Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm here. I never get any indication when the MIDC sends me my calendar, whether stuff is live or Zoom.
Oh, the only time it's ever live with us is on our ordinance docket.
Anyway, I'm here, which is
Okay.
fine.
All right.
The only thing I really can't do is I'm on an iPad. And so moving around is a little difficult for me.
Okay, I'll try and help you.
But thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I think I can take people from I can go into my waiting room. I just can't move other people. I think that's what I can't do.
Okay. Well, that's
I
okay.
can go from the general into either my waiting room or my meeting room. I can do that,
Okay.
but I don't think I can move folks around.
So, all right. So if there's a defendant stuck in your waiting room, I'll bring them back out when you're ready.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
No problem.
All right.
Okay.
Wow. This is crazy. Mm, 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 mm. Oh,
Oh, there we go.
Take your cap off for me, sir, please, and thank you. This is 24WM013610M. This is Wayne County Airport versus Angela Franklin. Ms. Franklin, would you state your name for me, please, ma'am?
Angela Denise Franklin.
Ms. Franklin, the way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you've waived your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
That's correct, ma'am.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Mena, the prosecutor for the airport?
Yes, ma'am.
The information he sent to us indicated that you would plead guilty to the checkpoint violation with a 3-month deferred sentence. Was that your agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you raise your right hand for me, please? Ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind. I'm sorry, you may put your hand down.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Franklin, you're the first case of the day. Put your right hand back up for me.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Now you may put your hand down. I am so sorry.
Okay.
Ma'am, you
That's okay.
understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Franklin, is it true that on May the 31st, 2024 at Wayne County Airport, which is located in the city of Romulus, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, you took a dangerous weapon through security?
Unknowingly, yes, ma'am.
What was the weapon, Ms. Franklin?
Firearm.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the checkpoint violation.
Ma'am.
As indicated on the paperwork sent over by Mr. Mena, that plea is being taken pursuant to 771.1, which means the sentence is delayed for a period of 90 days. So long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan for the next 90 days and pay the court $900 in costs, the matter will be administratively reviewed for dismissal after that 90-day period. Did you have conversation with Mr. Mena regarding the return of the firearm?
Yes, ma'am. He said once I'm
Okay.
done, yes, ma'am.
Once you're
I'm
done,
sorry, Judge.
contact
Sorry to
airport
jump in.
police. Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. Mena. Ms. Franklin, do you need more than 5 days to pay the $900?
Yes, ma'am.
Then I need you to do one of 3 things for me. You can come in person, speak to the member of the collection staff. You can call and speak to the collection staff, or you can go onto the court's website. There is a contact us button. When you click on that button, it will drop down and allow you to submit a request for a payment plan. But please do one of those 3 things sooner rather than later so you can get a payment plan and protect this delayed sentence, okay? To keep
Okay,
the
I'm
conviction
sorry.
off of your record.
I'm sorry, you say if I do it online, where do I go to do it online at?
It's mi34thdistrictcourt.com.
Okay,
And when that's the court's website. And when you're on the website, there's a contact us button. If you click on that, it'll say request a payment plan. You can submit a request for a payment plan that way.
okay, thank you.
So you have 3 months with no new cases in Michigan. And you set up a payment plan and make those payments. And at the end of those 90 days, this case will be dismissed and you'll be able to go retrieve the firearm if it's allowed. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, Ms. Franklin?
That's it. Thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Thank you, ma'am.
Uh-huh.
Two-three WM 024320M, Wayne County Airport versus Sean Johnsey. Your appearances, please.
For the record, Your Honor, James Mena appearing on behalf of the airport.
State your name for me, sir.
Sean Johnsey.
Mr. Johnsey, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Mena, the prosecutor for the airport?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Mr. Mena, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, Mr. Johnsey is going to plead guilty to violation of the rules and regulations of the airport.
Mr. Johnsey, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you understand that the court accepts your plea of guilty this morning. You will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or stand cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Sir, are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
I am guilty, ma'am.
Sir, is it true that on November 3rd, 2023 at Wayne County Airport, which is the city of Romulus, County of Wayne, state of Michigan, you violated the rules and regulations of the airport by failing to report a found article, and you removed that article from the airport premises?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Satisfied, Mr. Mena?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnsey, the court now accepts your plea of guilty as charged to violation of the rules and regulations. Is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
Yes, ma'am. I guess I apologize. I feel sorry for the woman more than anything. It's not something I would normally do. I just was trying to avoid security as well because I was homeless and I was just there overnight. You know, I got thrown out actually 20 minutes after that because of no boarding pass. But you know, I still feel guilty about it because that's just not the kind of person I am. I'm sorry. So yeah, that's all.
I appreciate that, sir. Mr. Mena, anything you'd like to add, sir?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnsey, the court will impose minimal fines and costs, $100 fine, $100 in costs, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. That's $345. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I don't work and I'm homeless. I am in a shelter. And I got a little side job lined up. I can start payments in 5 days. I can promise that. I don't have transportation.
Well, let's talk about a few options, sir. I need you to contact the court's collection department. You can call and speak to someone. You can come to the court and speak to someone, or you can go onto the court's website. You heard me explain before. You go to the website, click on the contact us and submit a request for a payment plan.
Okay.
The other thing that you can do is ask to speak to someone in community enrichment. There is a community service where you might be able to work off some of your time for every hour of community service. We will reduce the fines and costs by $15, but there are some options that don't require you to physically appear. You can do them remotely, but if you have the ability to tackle some of those fines and costs that way, that might address some of your financial issues, okay?
I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Is there anything else this morning, sir?
No, ma'am.
Good luck to you. Have a good day.
Thank you. God bless.
You're welcome. 24WM013630M, Wayne County Airport versus Joshua Myers. Your names for the record, please.
James Bennett appearing on behalf of the airport, Your Honor.
Your name, sir?
I'm sorry, meet Joshua Myers.
Thank you. Mr. Myers, we're a little bit early, but since you're ready, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
No, ma'am. I would like a court-appointed attorney.
Oh, okay, let's get you moved in with Mr. Bowditch. Give us one moment. You'll see it pop up on your screen. Go into the breakout room and discuss the case with him.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Donnelly, turn your video on and unmute yourself. This is 24VB015810M, Van Buren Township versus Alex Donnelly.
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Mannering on behalf of the people.
Alex Donnelly.
Sorry about that.
Take your hat off. Take your hat off and then state your name for me, please.
Alex Donnelly.
Thank you, Mr. Donnelly. The way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Have you had the chance to speak to Ms. Manarino, the prosecutor from Van Buren Township?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Manarino, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, we're asking that this matter be adjourned to the July 18th date.
For what reason, ma'am?
Your Honor, I need to make contact with the complainant in the matter. Based on my conversation with Mr. Donnelly, he's indicated that the complainant no longer wants to prosecute, and I'd like to have the opportunity to confirm that.
Was that your understanding, Mr. Donnelly?
Yep. Yes.
Thank you. We'll adjourn the arraignment pretrial to
July 18th at 9:20.
July 18th at 9:20 a.m. Mr. Donnelly, that's back on Zoom, back here with me, Judge Martin in courtroom number 1. Notice of that new date and time will be mailed to you at the address that's on record with the court, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your
Okay,
Honor.
thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Donnelly, you're free to go. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Harris and Mr. Michaels, we're just waiting for your attorney. It looks like they're in waiting to speak to Ms. Manarino. So as soon as they're ready, we'll get your case caller, get you connected with your attorney.
Your Honor, on Harris, we're just waiting to see if the victim appears on that one. And Mr. Davis just signed in, so I'll go and speak with him now.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Hadley.
Good morning, Your Honor.
How are you, sir? Oh, my goodness. We still have the Friday effect. Okay.
Yeah, it gets fixed next Tuesday. With the holiday, I'm going to be rocking the hockey look for another week.
I understand. I appreciate it. That's fine. You're arraignment this morning, or are you here for the docket as well?
I am arraignment counsel, but I have 2 individual assignments. I don't believe either of them have checked in yet. One's at 9 and one is at 9:20.
We have a relatively short docket, so if you're hanging around for the end of the arraignments, if you want to see if you can get a hold of your clients and get them logged on, just make sure they're confirm their attendance this morning. Michaels and Harris. Mary Ann, I'm gonna blame you. I'm telling you already.
I wish you could hear me in here.
On Friday, when you said, oh, Monday's gonna be short, Monday's gonna be fine.
I'm
We'll be done
sorry.
so early.
I know.
Yeah, my apologies, Your Honor. I got beamed out in the middle of you speaking to me. My apologies.
Don't apologize. I'll sit
I
here and
just
talk to
realized
myself.
we were talking. I'm like, I'm in the prosecutor's waiting room now. All right, I'll mute myself
No,
and kind of hang tight. Sorry to interrupt.
no, you're not interrupting. It's just Mary Ann and I.
Hey, Josh, do you need to speak with, I made you co-host, so if you need to speak to the prosecutors, you can do your thing.
Very good. Thank you.
And Mary Ann, what I'm gonna do is log on to OnBase and start trying to sign things, because that's how you get people to pop out of the breakout room and be ready.
And then maybe our docket will be different for tomorrow.
What's tomorrow? I think there's only like 10 cases tomorrow.
Okay, you just did it now.
I didn't do anything. Oh, jeez. So I didn't talk to Fred. I need a second monitor because I have to minimize this to sign paperwork, but still see. I don't know who walked behind Mr. Hadley with shorts on. And we need to talk to somebody downstairs about cases that are filed in Judge Parrott's name.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
I just have to use a different stamp when I sign them. What did I tell you, Mary Ann? As soon as I start signing stuff, here comes Mr. Davis.
How you doing, Judge?
I'm wonderful, sir. How have you been?
I'm good. I'm good. Always a pleasure.
This is 240363OM. This is Van Buren Township versus Jordan Michaels. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Manring on behalf of the people.
Hey, good morning, Your Honor. I'm Reese Davis, appearing with Jordan Michaels, who's present appearing via Zoom. Mr. Michaels, state your name.
Jordan Michaels.
Thank you. Today is the day and time scheduled for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Davis, how are we proceeding?
Judge, we're asking to set this over for, well, first of all, for the arraignment, I'll waive formal reading or plea of stand mute. And pretrial purposes, we're asking to set this over to July 18th for another pretrial conference. There's some additional discovery I'm waiting for.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Michaels, Mr. Davis has waived your right to have a formal reading of the complaint against you, as having you stand mute to those charges. I'm looking in the file for a recommendation regarding bond in this matter. The request from Van Buren Township Department of Public Safety was that your bond be set at 2,010%. You have appeared this morning, sir, timely and appropriately with retained counsel. For that reason, court will set your bond at 2,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this matter is resolved in its entirety.
Okay.
The return date for your pretrial will be July 18th at
9:50.
9:50 a.m. That's back here in number 1 with me at this same Zoom ID. I'll make the notation in the file that there is some discovery outstanding. Was there anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Davis?
No, Judge, thank you.
Thank you. The only other thing from this court, Mr. Michaels, is there's a request for fingerprints. I'll ask that you go to the Van Buren Township Department of Public Safety before your July 18th appearance date. Have your fingerprints taken. The court has signed the order for fingerprints.
All right.
And if there's nothing else, Mr. Michaels, you're free to go. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I apologize. I can't seem to find Mr. Myers in my meeting room.
I don't see him either, Mr. Bowdish, but if he reconnects, reappears, we'll get you connected with him, sir.
I'll return to my meeting room, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Davis, do you have something else ready, sir?
I have Cassandra Barnes. She was having trouble signing on. I just sent her the correct link.
Okay. This is 24WM013420M Wayne County Airport versus Kennedy Olds. Your appearances.
For the airport.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Batar on behalf of Ms. Olds. Kennedy, can you state your name for the record, please?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. What did you say?
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Kennedy Olds.
Thank you. Today's the day and time scheduled for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Ms. Olds is going to plead responsible to double parking, fine of $400.
Ms. Olds, you were able to hear Mr. Batar just now?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of responsible to double parking and the misdemeanor will be dismissed?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of responsible to the double parking, will assess a fine of $400 and the original misdemeanor charge is dismissed. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that $400, ma'am?
Yes.
Then I need you to do one of 3 things for me, please, Ms. Kennedy. I need you to come in person, speak to a member of the court's collection staff and set a payment plan, or call the court and set a payment plan. Last but not least, there is the court's website, which is mi34thdistrictcourt.com. Go onto our website. There's a contact us button. If you click on that, you can submit a request for a payment plan that way. But please do one of those 3 things and make payment on the $400, okay?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Kennedy, I'm sorry, Ms. Olds, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. These are 24WM01164 A and B. These are Wayne County Airport versus Henry Gaston.
Regina Jemison, I'm sorry. Mr. McKenna? Mr.
You're
Minnick?
fine, ma'am.
Okay, Regina Jemison appeared on behalf of Mr. Henry Gaston, who is here present with me.
Mr. Gaston, state your name for me, please.
Henry Levert Gaston.
Thank you, Mr. Gaston. Ms. Jemison, you've spoken to Mr. Mena this morning.
I have, Your Honor.
How are we proceeding with this arraignment and pretrial, ma'am?
For purposes of arraignment, we waive the formal reading and stand mute. And then for purposes of resolution, we have reached a resolution for Mr. Gaston to plead responsible to fail to stop in an assured clear distance with dismissal of original charges and citations. I'm sorry, to plead responsible.
Mr. Gaston, you had the opportunity to discuss this case with your attorney?
Yes.
And sir, you understand that you'll be pleading responsible for failure to stop in a short, clear distance and the original violation of basic speed law and failure to to stop after a property damage accident will be dismissed.
Yes.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of responsible for failing to stop with a short, clear distance. Court will assess a fine of $180. The original charges are dismissed. You need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir.
No, Your Honor, he will pay it immediately.
Thank you. Is there anything else this morning, Ms. Jemison?
I have nothing further. Thank you for the court's time.
You're very welcome. You have a good day, Mr. Gaston. Good luck to you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Two four VB 004230M Van Buren Township versus Cassandra Burns. Your appearances,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Good morning, Your Honor. Maurice Davis appearing with Cassandra Barnes, who's present and appearing via Zoom. Ms. Barnes, will you state your name?
Cassandra Barnes.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. Today is the day and time for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Davis, how are we proceeding?
For arraignment purposes, I'll waive formal reading and plea of stand mute.
Mr. Davis, have you had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Manarino?
Yes, and there's some additional discovery I'm waiting for. We're asking the court to set this over to July 18th.
Thank
Excuse me,
you.
June.
In the
June,
interim,
July
Ms.
18th.
Burns, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Ms. Barnes, in the interim, we'll set your bond at 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money. But what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this matter is resolved in its entirety. We'll adjourn the pretrial over to July 18th at
9:50?
9:50 a.m. That's back here on Zoom with me, Judge Martin, in courtroom number 1. Ms. Manarino, is there anything else outstanding for Ms. Barnes?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Davis?
No, nothing else. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Barnes, you're free to go. You have a great day. I'll see you on July 18th.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is 2401730M Van Buren Township versus Harris. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Manarino on behalf of the people.
And Your Honor, good morning. Bradley Friedman on behalf of Mr. Harris.
Mr. Harris, state your name for me, please.
Dewan Harris.
Thank you, sir. Today is the day and time scheduled for the final pretrial. Mr. Friedman, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we're ready to move forward. I don't believe that victims showed up for the prosecutor. Therefore, I move to dismiss.
That's correct, Your Honor. I did send a letter to the victim notifying him of the date and time for the final pretrial, and I further notified him that if he did not appear or make contact, the case would be dismissed. I have not heard from him, nor is he on Zoom this morning.
Thank you. This final pretrial was scheduled at 8:50 a.m. It's now 9:10 by this court's clock. My policy is 15 minutes after the scheduled start time. Complainant having failed to appear, defense motion to dismiss is granted. That dismissal is without prejudice. Ms. Manarino, is there anything else on behalf of the people?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Freeman, anything else on behalf of?
I'm sorry, Judge. Yeah, just one more thing. I do intend on filing a motion for destruction of biometric data. I don't know if the Ms. Manarino will stipulate, so we don't have to have the actual motion, and I can file a proposed order.
Yeah, I have no objection, Mr. Freeman.
Thank you.
I'll make a note in the file. We'll await receipt of your order, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Freeman?
No, everybody have a great day. Thank you.
You too. Mr. Harris, you're free to go. You have a good day, sir.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. This is 24WM013450M, Wayne County Airport versus Rodney Morgan. Mr. Morgan, I need you to turn your video on and state your name for me, please.
Name is Rodney Morgan, and it's showing my video is on. I don't know why you can't see it.
Mr. Morgan, no, I can't see you. The way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor?
I have.
Did you reach an agreement with him?
Yes, we did.
Mr. Morgan, the prosecutor indicated that there was an offer that you plead guilty to the checkpoint violation and that sentence in this matter would be delayed for a period of 3 months. Was that your understanding?
No, ma'am.
Oh, what was your understanding?
I'd pay $400 within 5 days, and it'll be like a double parking violation.
Then, Mr. Morgan, I'll need you to wait one moment. That's not what the court had as an offer from the prosecutor. We'll get Mr. Mena out here. He's in with an attorney. When he comes out, we'll verify that as the agreement and understanding, and I'll take your plea. I'm showing that your video is on, but I just can't see you, and I'm just reluctant in a criminal case to resolve it with. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Angela, I think one of my two just appeared. Can I meet with you real quick?
Sure thing.
Two for WM 01338, Wayne County Airport versus Edward Farah. May I have your appearance, please, sir?
Good morning, Your Honor. Jeffrey Aboud on behalf of Edward Farah appearing via Zoom video this morning.
Mr. Abu, you've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Mena.
I have, Your Honor, yes, and we've worked out a deal. We'd like the court to accept that. I do have authority from my client to enter into that responsible plea.
Responsible to
Double parking, fine of $300.
fine of $200,
I believe 300 is what I thought. but
300.
Yes.
Court accepts your plea of responsible on behalf of your client to double parking with a fine of $300. Does your client need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
No, 5 days should be sufficient. Thank you, Judge.
Anything else, sir?
No, thank you for your time.
That concludes this matter. You have a great day.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Back on the record in 24WM013450M, Wayne County Airport versus Morgan. Mr. Morgan, the court has confirmed with Mr. Mena that the misdemeanor charge is being dismissed for a plea of responsible to the double parking and a fine of $400. Are you still prepared to plead responsible?
Yes.
Court accepts your plea of responsible to double parking. Will dismiss the original misdemeanor charge in this matter. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the $400?
No, ma'am. Can I pay it online?
You may pay it online, sir. Is there anything else this morning?
No, thank you.
You have a great day, sir. You're free to go.
Thank you much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. These are 24WM01372 A and B. These are Wayne County Airport versus Albert Cervantes. May I have your appearances, please?
For the record, Your Honor, James Mena appearing on behalf of the airport police.
State your name for me, please, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir, you. State your name for me. With the mustache and tan work shirt on?
Mr.
You, yes, sir.
Cervantes,
State your name. Mr. Cervantes? State your name, sir. Albert?
I don't think you can hear us, Your Honor.
I'm gathering that.
Jim, did you send that report? Sorry to interrupt, Judge.
No, not yet. Hold on.
Not you, Mr. Bitar.
Oh,
Can you hear me, sir?
Please send me that, Jim.
Oh, there it is.
Mr. Cervantes?
That type mute?
Can you hear me, sir? Marianne, would you take him in a breakout and see if you can work with him on his volume?
Yes.
Thank you. Were you having any problems with him in the breakout, Mr. Mena?
I was not, Your Honor. You know how that is, though. Sometimes when you move them from one room to another, it affects their audio.
I understand. It's Monday.
It is. Did Mr. Myers ever check back in, Your Honor?
I haven't seen him come back.
He did that the first time I spoke to him when I moved him from the main session to the breakout room. He disappeared. And then, so he came back in the second time. So I don't know if it's when he's moving from breakout room to main session, he's hitting the wrong button or it's kicking him out.
I would expect him to try to rejoin. And we leave our Zoom unlocked. So if he tries to join us at any point while we're in session, we'll pull him in.
Okay. I'm gonna head back to my breakout room, Your Honor. On Mr. Cervantes, we were just gonna do a double parking on him for $400.
Thank you.
And dismiss the charges.
One double parking, because there were two cases.
Yeah, just one double parking, Your Honor, with
Okay.
$400 in cost.
Thank you.
Ms. Manorino, may I get an audience very briefly?
Sure thing.
And then there were none.
No luck, Judge. I was sending him chats. He could read the chat, so I put him out and asked him to sign back in.
Thank you.
Welcome.
A for effort. Mr. Cervantes, can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Wonderful, thank you. This is 24WM01372 A and B. These are Wayne County Airport versus Albert Cervantes. State your name for me, please, sir.
It's Albert Cervantes.
Sir, the way the court staff had you labeled before indicated that you were waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Was that correct?
Yes.
You had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Mena, the prosecutor for the airport.
Yeah.
He indicated to this court that you reached an agreement to plead responsible to double parking and the misdemeanor files will be dismissed. Was that your understanding?
Yes.
The court accepts your plea of responsible to the double parking and the A file and will dismiss both of the misdemeanors. The court will impose a fine of $400. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Yeah, I need like a payment plan, at least more than 5 days, at least.
Okay, then that's fine, sir. What I need you to do then is please either call the court and speak to a member of the collection staff and set a payment plan. You may come
Okay.
in person and set a payment plan, or you can go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. You click on that and you are able to submit a request for a payment plan that way, okay?
Okay. Is the number on that I called last time? Yeah, I have
That
it.
phone number in the upper right-hand corner of your notice to appear?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes, you can call that number, sir.
Thank you.
Ask to speak to collections to set a payment plan. Anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good day, sir.
You too.
Thank you. Mr. Bowdish, were you expecting someone to come out?
Your Honor, I was expecting someone to come in.
There's someone in room 11. It's labeled as MIDC.
I can go in there, Your Honor. I have my own meeting room, but I can go in there. I've been waiting in my meeting room. I apologize if I should have been someplace else.
I don't know if if Marlise is putting people into the MIDC waiting and just expecting you all to move people.
Maybe I'll try room 11, Your Honor.
Thank you. These are 2401740 OM and 2401750 OM. These are Van Buren Township versus Lasana Carver Jr. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Manning on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of Mr. Carva. Mr. Carva, please take yourself off mute and turn your camera off.
Okay.
State your name for me, sir.
I'm Lasana Carver, Jr.
Thank you. Thank you. Today is the day and time scheduled for arraignment and pretrial in these matters. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Mr. Carva has asked for one additional adjournment. I spoke to the people. The adjournment would be all the way out to September. They're not in agreement with the length of the adjournment. We just want to propose it to the court, see what the court's opinion would be on that request.
Why September?
Mr. Carva is in pharmacy school, and he was indicating that he's got some current paperwork applications that are kind of in the process. My understanding is he's trying to get his current application filed before the criminal proceedings move forward. Essentially, it sounds like it might be easier to file like an amendment or an addendum. Again, I'm not completely familiar with the paperwork for the pharmacy internship. Mr. Carva, can you explain to the court a little bit more about what you would need to do or why we need the adjournment to September?
Right. So basically, I just have to put in all of my paperwork. I have to file with the state of the Board of Pharmacy and just put everything through by August. If I have a little bit extra time, it is easier to put the paperwork through instead of waiting to set. If I do it now, then it's gonna put a hold up on my application for renewing my pharmacy intern license.
And to clarify for the record, Your Honor, a plea offer has been made by the people, and it's our intent to avail ourselves of the plea offer. I think it's just a matter of time.
Before I ask Ms. Manarino to weigh in, Mr. Hadley, the court's concern is that these offense dates are from February of this year. There was an April appearance. I can't tell what happened at that April appearance. Ms. Manarino, do you take any position on behalf of the township?
Your Honor, I would just indicate, I think the court has recognized what the issue is. The proceedings in this started several months ago. And I've adjourned a couple of times already pursuant to their request, and I just don't know that it's necessary to continue dragging this out.
Mr. Hadley, respectfully, the court's will concur with Ms. Manarino. This case again has been pending. The first appearance with this court was scheduled April 4th with Judge Oakley. Then it was adjourned to June the 6th with Judge Oakley, and then it was adjourned now to today, July 1st, with this court. That being the case, you need a moment to speak to Mr. Carva further.
Mr. Carver, based on what we've been told by the court, would you like to move forward and avail ourselves of the people's plea offer as we discussed?
Yeah.
Okay, Your Honor, we're prepared to move forward. We have discussed the plea offer. Mr. Carver understands what rights he would be waiving. We would be accepting the people's plea offer where one count of larceny will be dismissed outright. As to the second count, we will be pleading guilty under 771.1 delayed sentencing for a period of 12 months. Ms. Manarino, is that accurate and correct?
Yes, it is.
And Mr. Hadley, before I swear Mr. Carver in, you're aware that I'm married to an elected official in Van Buren Township. I make that disclosure as Van Buren Township is the issuing agency. My husband is not involved in the day-to-day operations of the Public Safety Department. He doesn't know anything about Mr. Carver's case. He doesn't know that the case even exists. That being said, do you need to speak to Mr. Carver, or are we prepared to proceed with the plea in this matter?
Mr. Carver and I have no issue. We don't believe there's any concerns there, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Carver, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Hadley, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having that conversation, sir, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to one count of retail fraud and the other count will be dismissed.
Yes.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on February 7th, 2024, in the Van Buren Township, you went into the Walmart located at 10562 Belleville Road, and you misrepresented the price of property which was offered for sale to the public with the intent to pay less than the true purchase price of the item?
Yes.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Carver, the court accepts your plea of guilty to retail fraud in the case that ends in 175 and will dismiss the case that ends in 174. As indicated by Mr. Hadley, this plea is taken pursuant to 771.1 which is delayed sentence for a period of 12 months. The court will impose costs of $300. Sir, so long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan in the next 12 months and you pay the $300, the case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal. Do you need more than 5 days to pay this amount?
No. Where would I go pay it at?
You paid it at the courthouse in person, or you may pay it online.
Yeah, I just pay it.
Is there anything else, Ms. Manarino?
Yes, Your Honor, two things. One, there's a request for $47.88 in restitution. And the other issue is that I don't know if Mr. Carver was fingerprinted on these matters. There should be an order in the file.
The court will order $47.88 in restitution in addition to the $300 in court costs, and the court will sign the order for fingerprints. Mr. Carver, the court will ask that you present yourself to the Van Buren Township Department of Public Safety on or before August 1st, 2024 to have your fingerprints taken in the 240175 matter. Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Good luck to you, Mr. Carver. You're free to go. You have a good day.
All right, you too.
Thank you. Two four WM 01333 OM, Wayne County Airport versus Clara Michael.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Batar on behalf of Clara Michael. Miss Michael, can you state your name for the record, please?
Clara Michael.
Thank you. Today's the day and time for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Miss Michael is going to plead guilty to breach of security. It'll be 771.1 for 3 months.
Thank you. Ma'am, would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Batar, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation with Mr. Batar, is your desire this morning to plead guilty as charged to breach of security?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses. You may put your hand down, ma'am. You will not have the opportunity to see witnesses or cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor or put witnesses up on your own behalf.
Yes.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, Your Honor.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, is it true that on May the 28th, 2024 at Wayne County Airport, which is located City of Romulus, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, that you reached the security of the airport by entering into a sensitive area without complying with the directions from security officers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty as charged to breach of security. As indicated by Mr. Batar, your plea is taken pursuant to 771.1 for a period of 3 months. That means as long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan for the next 90 days and pay costs of $300, the case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal. Do you need more than 5 days to pay $300, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, could she have 14 days, please?
Was that adequate time, Ms. Michael?
Yes.
14 days to pay. Anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ma'am, you're free to go. You have a great day. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
This is 24VB016790M Wayne, Van Buren Township versus Monica Ball. State your name for me, ma'am.
Monica Ball.
Ms. Ball, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, you've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Manarino this morning?
That was the other lady?
The prosecutor for Van Buren Township.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you reach an agreement with Ms. Manarino?
Yes.
Ms. Ball, I'll have you sit tight for one moment. When Ms. Manarino comes out, we'll recall this case and we'll take the settlement or agreement on the record, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, I was sent a couple of arraignments. Do we have anybody from the Wayne County Jail present?
I didn't see them, but I have my head down. I have the 3 files here.
I'm scanning
Maria's
through the
on.
rooms. I don't see anything, but I've got an Irvin Johnson that they sent me arraignment info and said he's in custody at Wayne County.
Maria,
And
what
then
time
a-
did you?
A second one who's also in Wayne County custody, Pharaoh Bluette.
Oh, I haven't seen Wayne County.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You can't grab my phone, okay?
Hey Jeff, there are a couple of people in the MIDC waiting room.
Okay. I
Miss
have this-
Manarino and the.
Yes,
Go
Your
ahead,
Honor.
Mr. Bowditch.
Oh, no, Your Honor, I'm gonna go check the meeting.
Miss Manarino, in the matter of Monica Ball, she indicated that you reached an agreement with her this morning.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. She's going to plead guilty. That would be under HIDA for a period of 6 months, and she will also need to be fingerprinted.
Thank you. Ms. Ball, unmute yourself, raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I'm sorry about that.
Ma'am, you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
You may put your hand down.
Okay.
Ma'am, you understand that you have a right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning, and you waive that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Ball, the court has the obligation to disclose to you that I'm married to an elected official in Van Buren Township. I make that disclosure as Van Buren Township is the police agency involved in this case. My husband is not involved in the day-to-day operations of the Public Safety Department. He doesn't know anything about your case. He doesn't even know that it's scheduled. That disclosure having been made, are you prepared to proceed with your plea, or would you like the opportunity to speak to one of the attorneys?
I accept the plea.
Ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Ma'am, is it true that on June the 9th, 2024 in Van Buren Township, you went into a store that was open to the public and took items passing all points of purchase without making payment for those items?
Yes, ma'am.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the retail fraud in this matter as indicated by Ms. Manarino. Your plea is taken pursuant to HIDA for a period of 6 months. The court will impose I'm sorry, the court is signing an order for fingerprints as well. You have until August 1st, 2024 to appear. to appear at the Department of Public Safety in Van Buren Township and submit two fingerprints. Ms. Manarino, was there anything else that the township was requesting from Ms. Ball?
No, Your Honor, did the court say what the amount of fines and costs were? I might have missed it.
Not yet. No,
Okay,
because
thank you,
Ms.
Judge.
Ball.
Nothing
Thank
else,
you.
nothing else on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Ms. Ball, was there something you wanted to say before fines and costs are imposed?
The reason why I did it was I felt on hard times and I was just trying to feed my kids. Stop. That's all.
Ms. Ball, I understand and respect that, but I want to advise you that there are agencies available in this community that provide food. At Romulus High School, every Tuesday, there is Forgotten Harvest. In Van Buren, in Belleville, there is, there's a food pantry every Tuesday morning. You can sign up for food through those agencies and entities. Last but not least, this court has relationships with agencies who will be able to provide you food for yourself and support for the children, food support for the children. So there's never a reason to go into one of the stores in this township or in the city of Romulus or into Belleville and take anything off the shelf without paying for it. People want to support you. There are agencies, there are opportunities available. The court hears your situation, ma'am, and will impose the lowest fines and costs available. $100 fine, $100 cost, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. That's $345. You can contact the court's collection department to set a payment plan. You can do that by coming in person, calling and speaking to the collections department, or going onto the court's website and submitting a request for a payment plan. If you have food insecurity that is continuing, when you call the court, ask to speak to someone in community enrichment. We have a person, Mr. Taylor, who's a full-time employee here, who may be able to provide you a direct connection with an agency to support you, help ease some of the food insecurity between you and the children. But in addition to paying the $345, go to Van Buren Township Department of Public Safety, have your fingerprints taken. Is there anything else, Ms. Ball?
No, ma'am.
Good luck to you, ma'am. Have a good day. You're free to go.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Detective Carmona.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing well, thank you.
What are you here for?
I'm here for the ordinance violation for Miller.
That case was actually adjourned, Mr. Carmona,
Okay.
to
July 15th at 10:10.
July 15th.
Correct.
Okay, at 10:10. Do you know who that's in front of?
Back with me.
Okay, and I'm sure I'm gonna get asked this. Do you know the reason for it? Do you know who asked for it?
Defense.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry that information wasn't relayed to you sooner, Detective.
Oh, not a problem. Have a good one.
Do you need to speak to Mr. Minna before you go?
If he's available, sure.
He's in his room by himself. We'll get you moved in there.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Cooper. Maybe not. Is there a landlord tenant docket in the building?
You can double check it. Give me a second. Oh,
I've seen 3 landlord tenant attorneys pop on in the last less than 10 minutes. It's just very unusual.
Your Honor, I have 3 ready when the court is.
Yes, sir.
Not according to the master calendar, Judge.
Oh, that's odd. It caught me off guard when I saw them. This is 23WM013160M Wayne County Airport versus Turbites.
Ready, Your Honor.
Jeff, I have Mr. Bitus.
Beg your pardon, Dan?
I have Mr. Bitus, Jeff.
Turbitis, thank you. Your
Well, then
appearance.
she's been well covered. I
No,
thought.
Mr. Bowditch, just so we're clear, we've had this conversation before. When people are on the screen, I call the cases. You don't have to tell me people are ready. I see them and I'm calling them. Your appearance, please.
Daniel Batar on behalf of Mr. Bitus, Your Honor.
Ma'am, state your name for me.
Milta Turbitis.
Thank you. Today is the day and time scheduled for the arraignment and pretrial. This case is in warrant status. The court is recalling the warrant. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I've had a chance to talk to the prosecutor in this matter. We're asking for a final pretrial at a later date so we can try and resolve it.
For purposes of arraignment, sir?
We would waive a form reading and stand mute, please.
Thank you. Ma'am, your bond is being set at 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this matter is resolved in its entirety. Your adjourned date will be
July 15th at 8:30.
July 15th at 8:30 a.m. back here on Zoom in number 1 with me, Judge Martin. Notice will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Is there anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ma'am, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Mr. Bitus, I'll
Thank
give you a call
you.
before that next court date, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are we ready with Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is 230069OM. This is City of Romulus versus Irvin Johnson. May I have your appearance, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, MIDC Arraignment Counsel on behalf of Irvin Johnson. Mr. Johnson, please state your name for the record.
Irvin Johnson.
Thank you. Today is the day and time scheduled for arraignment in this matter. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'll waive the formal reading of the arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty, and we are prepared to address bond when the court is ready to hear us.
Mr. Johnson, were you able to hear Mr. Hadley just now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. He's waived your right to hear the formal reading of the complaint against you and has entered a plea of not guilty. The bond recommendation indicates that it's set at the discretion of the court. That gives no guidance to this court. Mr. Hadley, your argument as to bond.
Your Honor, we would ask for a PR bond on the 34th District case. Mr. Johnson has a pending carrying concealed weapons charged, that he's already had a bond issued out of 36th District. It's a $20,000 bond with a tether. He's working to get the $20,000 put together to be released with the tether. We would just ask the court, in light of the other pending bond, to issue a PR bond, with the condition that he would, again, have to wear a tether with this case as well.
That he will have to wear a tether for this case as well. Mr. Johnson, the court will set your bond at $5,000 personal with the requirement that you be placed on GPS tether. Additional condition of your bond is that you have no contact with the victim in this case, the alleged victim being Shalee Mayberry, SHALEEMAYBERRY, and sir, no contact means no contact, no direct contact, no contact through social media, no contact through third persons. Should this court receive reports or information that you've made efforts to be in contact with that person, it could be viewed as a violation of the terms of your bond. Your bond could be revoked and you could spend the rest of these proceedings in custody. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you. Sir, your next appearance date will be a pretrial with Judge Green on July 18th, 2024 in courtroom number 3, and that will be by Zoom. Again, this file number is 230069OM. Next appearance date, July 18th at 10:10 a.m. on Zoom in number 3 with Judge Green. Is there anything else in this case, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, have you had the opportunity to speak to the other person in custody?
I'm not sure who Huron Township. I have no paperwork on that arraignment. The other.
The defendant's en route to me right now. If you want to put us in the breakout room.
Yep.
Absolutely. Thank you, Pravanchi.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I see Huron on now too, Mr. Hadley. So when you're done with those two and you pop back out, I'll get your cases called.
Yeah, Your Honor, I don't have any arraignment info on the Huron Township one. I'm sorry. That's all I was saying. I haven't gotten the complaint yet.
No worries. Maria's on. She'll get the information over to you.
Sounds good.
They did not want MIDC. And Your Honor, I do got.
This is 20VB042770M. This is Van Buren Township versus Justin Puckett. Could you state your name for me, please?
My name is Justin Michael Puckett.
Mr. Puckett, turn your video on for me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Puckett.
I don't know what's going on with my video.
Thank you. Mr. Bowditch, today is the day and time scheduled for the arraignment and pretrial. How are we proceeding?
As far as the arraignment, Your Honor, we waive formal reading and stand mute. We do have an executed plea agreement in which Mr. Puckett would be pleading guilty to a 2020 case of making false pretenses with the understanding the matter would be taken under 771 for a period of 6 months. If Mr. Puckett complies with all the court's wishes, the court will at that time consider dismissal of these charges. He is aware there is a restitution amount of $693.67.
Thank you. Mr. Puckett, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Mr. Puckett?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Puckett, you've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Bowditch regarding this matter, and it's your indication, it's the indication this morning you'll be pleading guilty to false pretenses.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Bowditch is aware, but I want to disclose to you on the record, sir, that I'm married to an elected official in Van Buren Township. I make the disclosure as Van Buren Township is the issuing agency in this matter. My husband's not involved in the day-to-day operations of the Public Safety Department. He doesn't know anything about this case. He doesn't even know that it's scheduled. Mr. Bowditch, that disclosure having been made, are we still prepared to proceed with the plea?
Still prepared to proceed, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Puckett, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty, sir, because you are in fact guilty?
I made a mistake and I need to correct my action.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Sir, is it true that on August 23rd, 2020 in Van Buren Township, that you with intent to defraud or cheat another used false pretenses?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bowditch, would you like to inquire further of your client?
Mr. Puckett, was there a hotel bill for $693.67 that you failed to properly pay?
Yes, sir.
Defense is satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Puckett, the court will accept your plea of guilty to false pretenses. The warrant that had previously been issued is recalled. Since then, this matter will be delayed for a period of 6 months pursuant to MCL 771.1. Sir, so long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan. Pay the court cost of $300 and the restitution of $693.97 to the victim in the case. The case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal at the end of that 6-month period. Sir, do you need more than 5 days to make payment of the cost and the restitution?
Yes, ma'am.
Then, Mr. Puckett, what I need you to do is reach out to the court's collection department. You can do that in one of 3 ways. You can call the collections department. You may come in person and speak to someone, or you can go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button on the court's website. You may submit a request for a payment plan that way, but I need you to do one of those 3 things sooner rather than later. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Puckett. You're free to go. You have a good day. This is 22VB00597 BOT. This is Van Buren Township versus Farrell Blewett. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley, appearing on behalf of the defendant, Mr. Farrell Blewett. Mr. Blewett, please state your name for the court.
No, Your Honor, I'm Farrell Blewett.
Thank you. Today is the day and time scheduled for arraignment. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'll waive the formal reading of the arraignment, enter a plea of not guilty, and are prepared to address bond when the court's ready to hear us.
Thank you. The bond recommendation received from the police department indicates that bond is at discretion of the court. Mr. Hadley, your comment as to bond in this matter.
Your Honor, this one's going to kind of parrot what I said previously in the last arraignment. Mr. Blewett actually has a pending firearms case. There has also been a significant cash bond on that matter, as well as a tether. Right now, Mr. Blewett is waiting the basically the county jail to have an available tether, and then he will be released upon that matter. I would ask the court issue a $5,000 personal bond with the condition that a tether is to remain on Mr. Blewett until the resolution of this case.
Mr. Hadley, while the court appreciates your advocacy, the court will not order a tether in a driving while license suspended case, which is what it is in this court. We'll set Mr. Blewett's bond at $3,000 personal. Sir, you do not need to post any money, but what you must do is appear as directed by this court. Your next appearance date in this case is July 18, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. with me, Judge Martin, here in courtroom number 1 on Zoom. The case number is 22VB00597B. OT. Next appearance date is July 18, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. And Mr. Blewett, in the 34th District Court, you have outstanding warrants for failing to display a license and an equipment violation. You have some balances due in civil infraction cases for seatbelt violation and prohibited parking. Those are monetary things. You need to make an appearance to this court and set payment plans in these matters. Is there anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much for catching that. Appreciate the court's time.
Thank you. Mr. Blewett, good luck to you. I'll see you on the 18th. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. All the best to you and your staff.
You too, Pravanchi.
Thank you.
This is 2-4-WM-01363OM, Wayne County Airport versus Joshua Myers. Your appearance.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Myers. And Mr. Myers,
Mr.
can you tell the
Piotrowski?
judge your name, please?
I'm sorry, Mr. Bowditch, I think that's retained counsel, isn't it, Mr. Piotrowski?
Is this Nathaniel
Correct.
Myers? No, I don't think so.
Yes, sorry, Judge, it's Nathaniel Myers. It's a Van Buren case.
Oh,
Oh, thank you. Mr. Bowditch, was the other Mr. Myers here?
He was here this morning, Your Honor. We spoke for a few moments and then we were lost.
I'll keep that one on the side. I'll try again with another Myers, 240-475-OM. Thank you for that correction, Mr. Piotrowski and Ms. Manarino. Van Buren Township versus Nathaniel Myers.
and
Angela
here-
Marion on behalf of the people.
sorry, Ms. Marino. Tom Piotrowski on behalf of Nathaniel Myers. Nathaniel, would you identify yourself, please, by stating your name?
Nathaniel Myers.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Myers. Mr. Piotrowski, today is the day and time scheduled for the arraignment and pretrial. How are we proceeding?
With regard to the arraignment, Your Honor, we would waive formal reading, stand mute. With regard to the pretrial, I'll stop right there, let the court catch up, I guess.
I'm sorry, Mr. Piotrowski, what did you say?
With regard to the pretrial, I've had a chance to talk with the city prosecutor. In exchange for my client pleading guilty to the count 3, which is having possession of false ID, there'd be a dismissal of counts 1 and 2, with the understanding this is credit for time served.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Piotrowski, before I take your client's plea, I want to disclose to you on the record that I'm married to an elected official in Van Buren Township and make that disclosure as Van Buren Township is the police agency involved in this matter. My husband's not involved in the day-to-day operations of the Public Safety Department. He doesn't know anything about this case. He doesn't even know that it's scheduled. That disclosure having been made, are we prepared to proceed with the plea?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Myers, would you raise your right hand for me, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Sir, you had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Piotrowski, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, sir, is it your understanding and agreement that you'll be entering a plea of guilty to operating while licensed, forged, or altered, and the other 2 charges of receiving and concealing stolen property, $200 or less, and possession of narcotic paraphernalia will be dismissed?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Sir, are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, is it true that on September 16th, 2023 in Van Buren Township, you were operating a motor vehicle with a license that had been forged or altered in some way?
Yes, ma'am.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Piotrowski?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of guilty to count 3, forged or altered license, and will dismiss the other 2 charges. As indicated by Mr. Piotrowski, the court will give you credit for 30 days time served and consider this matter closed. Was there anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Was there anything else, Mr. Piotrowski?
Just for clarification, I understand it is credit for time served. Was my client incarcerated? Need we be concerned about where and how my client was incarcerated for him to get credit for time served? I just want to make sure that at the end of his MDOC sentencing of 20 months, he doesn't have to serve 30 days with your honor. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to not really, Mr. Piotrowski. I said credit for time served, and this case is closed. Is there some other way that you want me to say it, or some other notation that needs to go in the file?
I'm satisfied then. Thank you.
Oh, okay. You're welcome, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is thank you. 24WM014060M Wayne County Airport versus Lazarus Crosby.
Good morning, Your Honor. James Mena appearing on behalf of the airport police.
Crosby, unmute yourself, state your name for me, sir.
Hello, how you doing? My name is Lazarus Crosby.
Good, thank you. I'm good this morning. Sir, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Is that correct?
Yes,
Sir?
Yes. Is this for Robert Coveney?
No, this is Lazarus Crosby.
Yes.
Mr. Crosby, you've had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, Mr. Mena.
Yes, I have.
Mr. Mena, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we're going to adjourn this so that the parking fee can be paid. And then once that's paid, it will dismiss it.
Was that your understanding, Mr. Crosby?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Your new date will be
July 15th at 8:30.
July
Okay,
15th,
thank you.
2024 at 8:30 a.m. Mr. Crosby, that'll be back here with me, Judge Martin, on Zoom in courtroom number 1. Notice of that new date and time will be mailed to you at the address you verified with court staff. Was there something else, Mr. Crosby?
No.
Anything else, Mr. Mena?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go. You have a great day. I'll see you at your next hearing.
Judge, I have a quick question.
Ma'am.
Here, the airport has somebody in custody. They have a new trainee doing the paperwork. They wanted to know if they could come in person.
Absolutely. They just need to check in with Officer Brooks.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is 24WM014140M Wayne County Airport versus Tiffany Webb. May I have your appearances, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. James Mena appearing on behalf of the airport.
Daniel Batar on behalf of Miss Webb, Your Honor. Miss Webb, can you state your name for the record, please?
Tiffany Webb.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Webb. Today is the day and time scheduled for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Miss Webb is going to plead as charged to the checkpoint violation 771.1 for 3 months. It was a firearm.
Thank you. Ms. Webb, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, thank you. May put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Batar. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, is your indication this morning that you'll be pleading guilty as charged to a checkpoint violation?
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, you understand that the court accepts your plea this morning. You will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, is it true that on June 7th, 2024, at the Wayne County Airport, which is located City of Romulus, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, you took a gun through the checkpoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Satisfied, Mr. Mena?
I'm satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Batar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the checkpoint violation as indicated by Mr. Batar. This plea is taken pursuant to 771.1. Your sentence will be delayed for a period of 3 months, so long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan and you pay costs of $900. The case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal. Ma'am, do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
No, ma'am.
Anything else, Mr. Mena?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Batar?
Just a comment to Miss Webb. Miss Webb, make sure you contact the Wayne County Metropolitan Authority Airport after that 3 months about the firearm, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Nothing else, Judge.
Other than that, Ms. Webb, you're free to go. You have a great day. Good luck to you.
Thank you. You too, ma'am.
Thank you. This is 24WM014130T. This is Wayne County Airport versus Eric Montgomery II. May I have your appearance, please?
James Mena appearing on behalf of the airport, Your Honor.
Mr. Montgomery, did you speak to one of the court-appointed attorneys? Mr. Montgomery?
Yes, I did.
Which
Your
one,
Honor,
sir? What
that's,
did he
one
look?
of my cases, Your Honor.
Your
Your
appearance,
Honor,
sir.
For the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Montgomery. Your Honor, today's date time set for arraignment. We waive formal reading and stand mute. We've also had a chance to pre-try this case, Your Honor. In this matter, Mr. Montgomery wishes to plead guilty to the added count of no operator's license on person, with the understanding the original matter would be dismissed.
Thank you. Mr. Montgomery, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Bowditch. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having that conversation, sir, is it your understanding that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to the added count of no operator's license on person, and the original charge of driving while license suspended would be dismissed?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on June 7, 2024, Wayne County Airport, which is the city of Romulus, County of Wayne, state of Michigan, you operated a motor vehicle with no operator's license on your person?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Mena?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Bowditch?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Montgomery, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the added count of no operator's license on person, will dismiss the original charge. Is there anything you'd like to say before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
No.
The court will impose a fine of $100. There's cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 mandatory state cost and $20 fund fee. That's $345. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
Yes, please.
Then what I need you to do is contact the court's collection department, Mr. Montgomery. You can do that in one of three ways. You can come in person and speak to one of the members of the court's collection staff. You can call the court and speak to a member of the collection staff, or you can go onto the court's website, which is mi34thdistrictcourt.com. There's a contact us button. If you click on that button, you're able to submit a request for a payment plan that way. But do one of those three things sooner rather than later, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
That concludes this matter, Mr. Montgomery. You're free to go. You have a great day. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley, this is 240568 SM, State of Michigan versus Adam Martain Doss.
Yes. Your Honor, my understanding is Mr. Doss has waived MIDC.
Sir, would you state your name for me, please?
Adam Doss.
Mr. Doss, have you waived your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning?
You said, have I raised my hand for what again? I can barely hear you.
Have you
Yes.
waived your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney with their arraignment this morning, sir?
You did when you signed that paperwork. Yes.
Sir, it's alleged that on June the 30th, 2024, in Sumter Township, that you committed count 1, domestic violence. It's alleged that you made an assault or assault and battery upon Kimberly Vernell Martain, a resident or former resident of your household, contrary to MCL 750.81 sub 2. This is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and or fines of $500 plus court costs. Sir, because you are unrepresented, the court will have you stand mute to the charges against you. There is a bond recommendation from Sumter Township asking that the court set your bond at $5,000, 10%, because you have outstanding warrants in 2 other jurisdictions. They're asking that conditions of your bond be that you have no contact with Kimberly Martain and you do not return to the residence at 178 Magnolia. Finally, they're asking that there be an order that you not purchase, possess, consume alcoholic beverages or any non-prescription controlled substances while you're on bond in this case. What do you say to those bond recommendations, sir?
Request a personal bond. Request a personal bond?
Mr. I'm sorry, who was that sitting there with you?
This is Sergeant DeVos, ma'am.
Sergeant DeVos, yes, I just woke up a lot of days, I don't know what's going on, man, that's why I'm asking him.
Well, sir, that's why you have the opportunity to speak to a court-appointed attorney who may be able to provide you with assistance. This court has received a recommendation from the department that arrested you, asking that you be placed on a cash bond because you have outstanding warrants in other jurisdictions. The court heard your request
Well, I
for
didn't know I
personal
had
bond.
Well, I'm sorry, Judge, I didn't know if I had any warrants or not, so, I wasn't sure about that. They had just told me that when they brought me in, that I was gonna see the judge in the morning, and it was nothing too serious, and then I would just probably be released or, and be on like, what's that stuff called, house or like, probation or something.
Sir, the court's concern is that the information received from Sumter Township Police Department is that you have probation violations for breaking and entering in Sterling Heights and disorderly person in Riverview. Additionally, the court has a criminal history with you.
Well, Sterling Heights, I did my time served already. I
Mr.
don't know about.
Sir, I'm going to ask you not to say anything about any of the outstanding cases, not just this one here, but in any of the jurisdictions, because your testimony, the statements you make are being recorded and this court's proceedings are being streamed. So I don't want you to say anything that can be used against you. Sir, the
Okay.
court will have you stand mute to the charges against you, and after reviewing the criminal history, the fact that you have failures to appear in other jurisdictions gives the court concern, sir, but the court will set your bond at 5,000 personal in this matter. There will be conditions. You are to have no contact with Kimberly Martain, Martain, and sir, no contact means no contact, no direct contact, no contact through social media, no contact through third persons. Should this court receive reports that you made efforts to be in contact or communication with this person, your bond could be revoked and you can spend the rest of these proceedings in custody. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to return to 178 Magnolia. You are not to purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages or non-prescription controlled substances during the course of these proceedings until further order of the court. Your next appearance date, sir, will be on July 10th, 2024 at 9 a.m. And that will be in courtroom number 2 with Chief Judge Brian Oakley. Again, this case number is 240568 SM. Next appearance date, July 10th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in person in courtroom number 2. Court staff will get that information over to the police department so that you may be released with your next court date in hand, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Now I have a question.
Yes,
now,
sir.
I have a question now. You said do not return back to 178 Magnolia?
Yes.
But that's where I live at though. I have documents to show that I'm on the lease and that's my place as well.
Unfortunately, sir, in these types of cases, what happens is you cannot return until further order of the court. Police departments are able to make accommodations to get you sufficient clothing or access to your medication until the order may be revised when the prosecutor is present. Right now, it's just you, me, and the Huron Township Police. So when you appear on July 10th, if you want changes to your bond, you can take that up with Judge Oakley, or there will be court-appointed attorneys available. They will be able to argue the case on your behalf should you wish to engage their services on that July 10th date, okay?
Okay.
Good luck to you, sir. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. This is 24WM01030OI. This is Wayne County Airport versus Nasser Allen. Your appearance, ma'am.
Yes, good morning, Judge. For the record, Marie Gary on behalf of the defendant.
Thank you, Ms. Gary. And have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Mena, the prosecutor?
Yes, Judge, and we have reached a plea agreement. My client.
Yes, ma'am.
My client will be pleading responsible to double parking with the understanding that the improper lane use would be dismissed.
Thank you. Did you have some conversation with Mr. Mena regarding a fine or fee in this matter?
It is correct, Judge. He said a court fine of $250.
The court will accept your plea of responsible on behalf of your client to the add account of double parking, dismiss the original charge of improper lane use. The court will assess a fine of $250. Your client had posted a $200 bond. That bond will be applied. Your client will have 5 days to pay the balance.
Judge, with the holiday, could that be extended just a little?
Let's say 14 days, Ms. Garion.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
Have a good day, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good holiday, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. This is 24WM01435 OM. This is Wayne County Airport versus Johnny Bobrowski.
Yes,
Good morning.
State your name for
Honor.
me, sir.
I'm Johnny Bobrowski.
Mr. Bobrowski, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, Mr. Mena?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Mena, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, upon the acceptance of a responsible plea to double parking with $300 in costs, we'll move to dismiss the abandoned personal property charge.
Mr. Bobrowski, is that how you'd like to proceed this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
The court accepts a plea of responsible to the add account of double parking. Will dismiss the original misdemeanor charge of abandonment of personal property. The court will impose a fine of $300. Sir, do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
2 weeks, ma'am.
I'm sorry,
Yes. I need 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes.
2 weeks, Mr. Bobrowski. Anything else this morning?
No, that'd be all, ma'am.
Have a good day. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Mr. Mena in 24WM01416OM, this was Wayne County Airport versus Miller. The court received received a phone call from defense attorney on Friday afternoon indicating that he was on a flight and would not be available until after 11 o'clock. Based on that, the court found good cause and adjourned this matter over to July 15th. It was my understanding that he was to communicate that to you. The fact that Detective Carmona appeared this morning suggested that that information had not been relayed.
Yeah, Your Honor, we weren't aware, but that's okay. I've noted it on the file. And it could have
My
noted,
apologies, Mr. Mena.
he could have notified Mr. Zick, who hadn't let me know yet.
That's not typically how I do things, but it was a jury trial day and I took his word that he had been in contact and communication. If you talk to Mr. Zick, great. I just wanted to make you aware of the fact that the case had been adjourned over to July the 15th at 10:10 a.m.
Appreciate
And
that,
notice
Your
will
Honor.
be sent out. Thank you. 18A001980OT. This is Wayne County Airport versus Ali Arabi. May I have your appearances, please?
James Mena appearing on behalf of the airport, Your Honor.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch, appearing on behalf of with Mr. Arubai. Your Honor, today's the date and time set for an arraignment in this matter, waive formal reading and stand mute. We've also had a chance to get a plea agreement in this matter. At this time, Mr. Arubai would be pleading responsible to double parking with an assessed fee of $300.
State your name for me, please, sir.
Ali Al-Rubai, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Bowditch. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation, sir, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of responsible to the added count of double parking and the original charge would be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
The court accepts your plea of responsible to that double parking, assess a fine of $300 and will dismiss the original misdemeanor. There was a bond posted in the amount of $150. The court is able to apply that bond. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the balance, sir?
2 weeks will be perfect if that's possible.
It's not possible, but now that that's the trend for the morning, 14 days to pay the balance.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're free to go, sir. You have a great day.
You too.
You see how that trend starts going and we come to this point in the day? This is 24VB01680. This is Van Buren Township versus Eaton. May I have your appearances?
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Manring on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch appearing on behalf of and with Mr. Eaton. Your Honor, as far as the.
Yes, good morning,
I'm
Your
sorry,
Honor.
Mr. Bowditch. No. Take your hood off and state your name for me, please.
My name is Trejon Eaton.
Thank you, Mr. Eaton. My apologies, Mr. Bowditch. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we do have Mr. Eaton wishes to plead guilty to the charge of retail fraud.
And before I take your plea, Mr. Eaton, I'll disclose to you on the record, Mr. Bowditch is already aware. I'm married to an elected official in Van Buren Township. I make that disclosure as Van Buren Township is the issuing agency. My husband is not involved in the day-to-day operations of the Department of Public Safety. He doesn't know anything about your case. He doesn't even know that it's scheduled. That disclosure having been made to your client, Mr. Bowditch, are we prepared to proceed with the plea, or do you need a moment with Mr. Eaton?
We're prepared to proceed, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Eaton, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I swear, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Sir, you've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Bowditch. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, sir, it's your desire this morning to plead guilty as charged to retail fraud.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to say, we just was trying to feed our kids in a time of need. Everybody stumbled across hard times, but we do know right from wrong. And but I would be more than happy to pay it back however I can to resolve this issue.
Mr. Eaton, let me finish that part, my part, and then you and I will have a slightly different conversation, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Eaton, are you entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that for me?
I said you haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, is it true that on June the 9th, 2024, you went into the Walmart located in Van Buren Township and you took items from the shelf at a time when the store was open to the public and you passed all points of making payment without making payment for the items that you picked up and selected?
That is correct.
Satisfied, Ms. Manarino?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Bowditch?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Mr. Eaton, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the retail fraud. Mr. Bowditch, is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of your client before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Eaton, is there anything else you'd like to say on your own behalf this morning?
No, ma'am, that's all.
Mr. Eaton, the court will impose the following. There's a fine of $100. There's cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee. There's $50 mandatory state costs. There's $20 fund fee. That's $345. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
Yes, ma'am, if I could.
Then, Mr. Eaton, I'll have you contact the court's collection department. You are able to do that in one of three ways. You may come in person and speak to a member of the collection staff. You may call the court and speak to the collection staff, or you can go onto the court's website, mi34thdistrictcourt.com. There's a contact us button. If you click on that button, you may submit a request for a payment plan that way. There's the additional issue. You indicated to the court during the course of the plea that you were just trying to feed your family. I will tell you that there is a mobile food pantry that is at Romulus High School every Tuesday. Every single Tuesday, they are giving out food boxes. There is a church in downtown Belleville that gives out boxes of food the same way. If you contact this court's community enrichment officer, Mr. Taylor, he has information regarding other agencies that have food available. Going into the store and taking items is not the solution. There are services available. Is there anything else in this matter, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Eaton, you're free to go. Good luck to you. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome. This is 2403580D. This is Van Buren Township versus Zane Duzen.
Good morning, Your Honor. Angela Manring on behalf of the people.
Mr. Duzen,
Yes, ma'am.
turn your video on and state your name for me, please.
My name is Shane Duzan.
Sir, today is a day and time scheduled for your pretrial in this matter. The court has received communication that you have retained Attorney Demopoulos. This court does not show that an appearance has been received. And the prosecutor has made attempts to, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was gonna ask and see if I could push my my pretrial back to next week because I haven't been able to get a hold of him all morning.
Have you actually retained him, signed an agreement and made payment to your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Manarino.
Your Honor, we've previously adjourned this matter twice pursuant to Mr. Duzan's request to, for an adjournment so that he could retain counsel. If the court's inclined to give him another adjournment, I would indicate maybe it would be the final adjournment because this would be the third adjournment.
Mr. Duzan, the court will adjourn this matter one last time. That adjourn date will be
July 15th at 8:40.
July 15th at 8:40 a.m. That's back here on Zoom in number one with me, Judge Martin. The note in the file is last adjournment without attorney. Sir, if you appear on July 15th and Mr. Demopoulos has not filed an appearance in this matter, the court will expect you to either proceed on your own or speak to one of the court-appointed attorneys who are present, but this case will move forward. It has been outstanding since the offense date of February 15, 2024. Notice of that new date and time will be mailed to you. Is there anything else, Ms. Manarino?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Duzan?
No, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Ms. Barbie, this is 24WM013830M, Wayne County Airport versus Kenyatta. Barbie, ma'am, turn your video on, unmute yourself and state your name for me, please.
This is Kenyatta Barbie.
Ms. Barbie, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, Mr. Mena?
Yes.
Mr. Mena, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Ms. Barbie is going to plead guilty to a checkpoint violation. That will be taken pursuant to 771 for a period of 3 months. After the 3 months, and if her case is dismissed, the firearm can be returned to her.
Ms. Barbie, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, but I have a question.
Thank you, ma'am. You may put your hand down. What's your question?
Well, to withdraw my plea.
You want to withdraw your plea?
Yes, ma'am. I would like to take the case to trial.
I haven't taken your plea yet. What is it that you want to do?
I would like to, I'm sorry. So when you asked me and you transitioned me over to Mr. Mena, I just wanted to make sure that I spoke about the situation before anything was locked in.
I don't understand your question.
Okay. Let's proceed with your question.
No, ma'am. Just ask your question again. I couldn't understand what you were saying.
When you asked Mr. Mena what I planned on doing, and he mentioned about the plea bargain, I've
Yes,
changed my
ma'am.
mind. I've changed my mind, so I just wanted to move forward with that.
You want to change your mind with the plea and do something different?
Yes.
What do you want to do, Ms. Barbie?
I would like to take the case to trial.
Have you, well, let's back up just a slight skosh. You have not been arraigned yet?
Okay.
So as to the charge
Okay.
against you, what's your response for the arraignment, for purposes of arraignment?
I just want to follow through with the case accordingly.
That's not answering my question. Ms. Barbie, because you are not represented this morning, the court will have you stand mute to the charges against you. Set your bond in this case at $3,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this case is resolved in its entirety. The case was also scheduled this morning for pretrial. Have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Mena regarding the charges against you and the evidence available?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, we'll schedule this matter for pretrial. That date will be
July 15th at 8:40.
Ms. Barbie, you will come back here to Zoom in courtroom number 1 on July 15th at 8:40 a.m. back here again with me, Judge Martin, in courtroom number 1. You'll discuss the matter with Mr. Mena again, and if you don't have a resolution, we'll schedule the matter for trial, okay?
Okay, do I have the option to come in person?
If you want to come in person, you're free, you're welcome to, ma'am. Largely, we do these hearings on Zoom, but if you come in person, Officer Brooks will open the courtroom and let you in. I want you to understand, though, if you intend to represent yourself in this matter, the court cannot assist you. The court cannot support you. You'll be held to the same standards as an attorney. You'll be responsible for understanding the court rules and court procedure, okay?
Okay.
That being said, bond has been set. The pretrial has been adjourned. I'll see you on July 15th at 8:40 a.m. Again, my secretary will send you notice of that new date and time. You have a good day. Good luck to you.
Thank you, too.
Thank you. This is 24WM14390M, Wayne County Airport versus Jackson. May I have your appearances?
Good morning, Your Honor. James Mena appearing on behalf of the airport. Mr. Jackson, if we could have you unmute yourself and turn your video on, identify yourself.
I'm here. I'm Bleak Jackson.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, the way the court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, I want one.
Yeah, you said yes, you do want one or don't want one?
I don't want one.
Sir, who is that talking to you?
That was my mother.
Okay, mom.
Sorry.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Mena, the prosecutor for the airport?
Yes.
Mr. Mena, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, upon acceptance of a guilty plea to the checkpoint violation to be taken pursuant to 771 for a period of 3 months. At the end of the 3 months, provided he's picked up no criminal charges, paid his fines and costs, his firearm would be returned and it would be dismissed.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, would you raise your right hand for me, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Mr. Jackson, are you wearing a bathrobe?
Is this about? Yes.
You understand that this is court in a very serious misdemeanor matter?
This is just my first time ever doing this. I thought I was just gonna be shown from the neck up. I apologize.
I just want you to understand, Mr. Jackson, that how you present yourself means a lot. And I can't imagine that you will walk into courtroom number 1 with a bathrobe. And you may be somewhere other than the courtroom, but I'm in the courtroom and I take this very seriously.
Yes,
Sir,
and I do apologize.
Thank you. You understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or stand cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on June 11, 2024, at Wayne County Airport, which is located City of Romulus, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, you violated the checkpoint by taking a pistol through security in your employee work bag?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Mena?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of guilty as charged to the checkpoint violation. As indicated by Mr. Mena, the plea is taken pursuant to MCL 771.1. As long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan for the next 3 months, and you pay cost of $900, at the end of that 3 months, your case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal, and you will have the opportunity to contact the airport police for return of your firearm. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the $900, sir?
Yes.
Then what I need you to do, sir, is contact the court's collection department. You're able to do that in one of 3 ways. You may come in person and speak to a member of the court's collection staff. You may call and speak to a member of the staff, or you may submit a request for a payment plan on the court's website. The court's website is mi34thdistrictcourt.com. There's a contact us button. If you click that button, there's a next button, submit a request for a payment plan, but I need you to do one of those 3 things sooner rather than later. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Then you're free to go, sir. You have a great day. Good luck to you.
Thank you, and you too.
Thank you. This is 24WM01411. This is Wayne County Airport versus Arlise Can Smith.
James might appear on behalf of the airport, Your Honor.
Daniel Batar on behalf of Arlise Can Smith. Ms.
I'm
Can
sorry,
Smith?
Mr. Batar, there's a second file that's not a hyphenated. It's 24WM01410.
That's a different can, Your Honor.
That's a different
Katrina.
Smith. Thank you. I have them tagged together for some reasons. My apology, Mr. Batar. Ms. Can Smith, would you state your name for me, please?
Arlise Can Smith.
Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, my client is going to plead under 771.1, and that is for a period of 6 months. Is that correct, Mr. Mena?
Yes, sure.
And would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. You had the opportunity to, you may put your head down. You had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Batar. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after having that conversation, you wish to plead guilty as charged to being a disorderly person.
Yes.
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Okay.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Ma'am, is it true that on June 7th, 2024 at Wayne County Airport, which is located City of Romulus, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, you were a disorderly person, more specifically that you did disrupt or impede the orderly flow of passengers?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Mena?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Batar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of of guilty to being a disorderly person. Anything before the costs are assessed in this matter, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ma'am, is there anything you'd like to say on your own behalf?
No.
Ma'am, your plea was taken pursuant to MCL 771.1. So long as you incur no new criminal cases in the state of Michigan for the next 6 months and you pay costs of $300, the case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal at the end of that 6-month period. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the $300?
Yes.
Then ma'am, I need you to contact the court's collection department. You're able to do that in one of 3 ways. You may come in person and speak to a member of the collection staff. You may call and ask to speak to the collections department, or go onto the court's website, which is mi34thdistrictcourt.com. You may submit a request for a payment plan that way by clicking on the contact us button, but please do one of those 3 things sooner rather than later. Is there anything else in this case, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. You're free to go. You have a good day. Good luck to you.
You too.
Thank you. I'm going to step off for just one moment. I'll come back and take up with Coveney, and then there's someone else in your waiting room. Mr. Minna, do you want to take a moment to speak to that person?
I will do so, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Doing so good.
But Marianne, at the end of the day, I hold Mr. Minna responsible. He's in those breakout rooms, he sees and hears this stuff, and he doesn't get people ready.
I'll take whatever blame is being assessed to me, Judge.
None, really. It's 11:01. I'll call these two cases. We're moving along. We're cooking with gas. This is 24WM 01418OM Wayne County Airport versus Robert Coveney.
Yes, Your Honor. James Meta appearing on behalf of the airport.
Sir, I need you to unmute yourself and state your name for me, please. I don't know how to phone unmute.
I don't either, Judge. I don't know. I didn't know he could mute him unless somebody muted him.
There's a way to undo it. It's star something, and I just don't remember. While we wait to see if we can get him unmuted, let's move on to 24WM 01410OM Wayne County Airport versus Patrina Can.
Again, Your Honor, yes. James Meta appearing on behalf of the airport.
State your name for me, please, ma'am.
Patrina Renee Can.
Ma'am, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Is that accurate?
Yes, I spoke with the prosecutor.
Mr. Mena, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, we're going to proceed with the same offer that we had in the other case. Miss Can is going to plead guilty to being a disorderly person. That'll be taken under 771 for a period of 6 months.
Ma'am, do you swear or
Yes.
affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Ma'am, you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties this morning?
yes,
And it's your intention to
sorry.
plead guilty as charged to being a disorderly person?
yes,
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
yes,
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
yes,
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
yes, I am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No,
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
yes, I do apologize.
Is it
also.
true that
I
on,
just-
is it true that on June 7th, 2024, at Wayne County Airport, which is located city of Romulus County, Wayne, state of Michigan, you were a disorderly person, more specifically, that you interrupted or impeded the orderly flow of traffic?
Yes,
Satisfied, Mr. Mena?
I'm satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to being a disorderly person as indicated by Mr. Mena. The sentence is taken pursuant, this plea is taken pursuant to 771.1, which means your sentence is delayed for a period of 6 months, so long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan during the next 6 months and pay $300 in costs to the court. The case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the $300?
yes,
Then ma'am, I need you to contact the court's collection department in one of 3 ways. You may call and speak to the collection staff. You may come in person to set a payment plan, or you may go onto the court's website, which is mi34thdistrictcourt.com. There's a contact us button. If you click that button, the next drop down will say submit or request payment plan, but please request and establish a payment plan in one of those 3 ways sooner rather than later, okay?
okay. Can I do that
If there's
today?
nothing else, you're free to go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Can I do that today?
May you make payment today or make the payment?
No,
plan?
make the, you said make the arrangements as soon as possible, make a payment arrangement.
Absolutely. You may do that today. You may
Okay.
do that as soon as you hang up from me.
Okay, there's a telephone number you say for the payment to call in?
On the top right-hand corner of the notice that got you to court this morning, there's a 734-941 number. That's our
I
general
have it,
number.
4462.
Yep.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
thank you. You do too, thank
You're
you.
welcome. This is 24WM 01418, Wayne County Airport versus Robert Coveney. Coveney? Your name,
Coveney,
sir?
Yes, ma'am, Robert
Thank you.
Coveney.
Coveney. Coveney. Mr. Coveney, the way court staff have you labeled indicate that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorneys this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, Mr. Mena?
Yes, I did.
Mr. Mena, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, upon acceptance of a guilty plea to being a disorderly person, we would move that it be taken pursuant to 771 for a period of 3 months, Your Honor.
Sir, were you able to hear the prosecutor just now?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Is that how you would like to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Please you raise your right hand for me, please?
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Sir, you understand if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, I have not.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Is it true that on June 8th, 2024 at Wayne County Airport, which is located in City of Romulus, County of Wayne, State of Michigan, that you were a disorderly person, more specifically that you did something to disrupt or impede the orderly flow of traffic?
Yes.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of being a disorderly person as indicated by Mr. Mena. This plea is taken pursuant to MCL 771.1, which means your sentence is delayed for a period of 3 months, so long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan during this 3-month period of time and you pay costs of $300. The case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the $300?
No, ma'am.
Then, sir, 5 days to pay, 90 days of no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan, and the case will be administratively reviewed for dismissal. If there's nothing else, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. To Mr. Mena, Ms. Manarino, Mr. Bowditch, and Mr. Batard, the court has checked. Our last scheduled case was at 10:30. It's now 11:09 by this court's clock. The court will deem anyone who's not here as untimely and will enter the appropriate next action against them unless there's some reason that you want to hear the failures to appear being placed on the record. You're free to go. You have a great day.
You as well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Mary Ann. Everyone have a good day.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
Bye, Jim.
Maria, what happened with that arraignment?
Your Honor,
Mr. Hadley?
I had contact with one of my clients who was scheduled for today. He did call my office, Mr. Joshua Vergis with a V.
Mr. Haley, the case was scheduled at 9 o'clock. It's now 11:10 by this court's clock. What happened with Mr. Vergis?
Mr. Vergis indicated he's at the doctor's office right now. He apparently had miscalendared it. He thought we were in your court tomorrow. I would humbly ask the court issue a show cause and not a bench warrant based on the fact that he did contact my office. He will avail himself at the next hearing. I've got full discovery. I've been in regular communication with him. I was pretty surprised he didn't show up today.
This is 24WM006210M, Wayne County Airport versus Joshua Vergis. Mr. Haley, the court will take your word as an officer of the court that you've been in contact or communication with your client this morning, and you have a good way to maintain that contact or communication. I will not show cause someone whose attorney represents that they are unavailable, miscalendared, number one, and then number two is at a medical appointment. What this court will do in lieu of a show cause is reschedule the matter to our next date.
Is that the 18th, Your Honor, or is that a different docket?
We have 15th and 18th for airport.
Your Honor, I'm with you on the 18th as House Counsel if that date's available.
Yes, sir, at 9:50.
Thank you, Marianne.
Welcome.
Anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor, thank you very much for your patience. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
Before you leave, Maria had indicated that Wayne County was bringing over an arraignment.
I'll stick around.
I'm trying to get her attention because she said they were going to actually come to the courthouse and do it. I don't know if there was going to be a request for MIDC or what we were doing. Maria?
I'll call.
Marianne, would you?
Yep.
Thank you. You're reading my mind. This is 24WM023420M. This is Wayne County Airport versus David Lee Booth. This case was scheduled this morning for show cause. It was scheduled at 8 a.m. It's now 11:12 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, bond will be forfeit and the bench warrant that is in place will remain that way. This is 23WM013220M, Wayne County Airport versus Corone Matthews. This case was scheduled for show cause at 8 a.m. It's now 11:13 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant has failed to appear again in this matter. Bond is forfeit. The warrant that is in place will stay there.
Judge and Josh, I just spoke with Maria. They're bringing the defendant in now, and they do want to speak with you.
Thank you. This is 24WM00628AOT. This is Wayne County Airport versus Melvin Bass. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:30 a.m. It's now 11:14 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 21WM007230M. Oh, excuse me, OT, Wayne County Airport versus Thomas Boyce Harrington. This case was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8:30 a.m. It's now 11:14 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 24WM01064. This is Wayne County Airport versus Saleh Al-Khalik. This case was scheduled for pre-hearing at 8:50 a.m. It's now 11:15 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be deemed in default. This is 240560OM. This is Van Buren Township versus Makisha Malcor. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:50 a.m. It is now 11:16 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this case will be set for show cause. Ms. Malcor also had 2302620M. This is Van Buren Township versus Makisha Malcor. This was also scheduled for pretrial at 8:50 a.m. It's 11:16 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matter will be set for show cause. This is 24VB016110M Van Buren Township versus Bianca Raw. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:50 a.m. It's now 11:17 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 24WM013650M Wayne County Airport versus Joshua McKinley. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9 a.m. It's now 11:18 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 24WM013630M. This was Wayne County Airport versus Joshua Myers. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:10 a.m. It is now 11:19 by this court's clock. Defendant had been present first in pro per, and then after having spoken to Mr. Bowditch, he has not been here for at least an hour, was not present when the case was called. Based on that, the court will set this matter for show cause. This is 24WM013680M Wayne County Airport versus Kyra Ross. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:10 a.m. It's now 11:20 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matter will be set for show cause. This is 240525OM. This is Van Buren Township versus Kenneth Huddleston Jr. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:20 a.m. It's now 11:21 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. Oh, wait. Not wait, me, I'm sorry. This is 240523OM. This is Van Buren Township versus Anthony Ware. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:20 a.m. It's now 11:22 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matter will be set for show cause. This is 220743OM. Van Buren Township versus Paul Zakowski. This case was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 9:20 a.m. It's now 11:23 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. Case being in warrant status, it will stay that way. This is 240526OM. This is Wayne County Airport versus Brandon Bilski. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:30 a.m. It's now 11:24 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matter will be set for show cause. This is 24VB016720M, Van Buren Township versus Nathan Moore. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:30 a.m. It's now 11:24 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause.
Judge and Josh, I was just informed the defendant is here, but for some reason they cannot connect in our Zoom room. So they're bringing the person up to the courtroom. Is that okay? I don't.
The only issue is how he'll speak to Mr. Hadley.
Yeah, I don't,
It's a DWLS. I mean, it doesn't matter. We still have the same issue, but I don't think there's particularly a lot to go over.
This is This is 24VB016750, and this is Van Buren Township versus Mark Stewart. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:30 a.m. It's now 11:26 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 240524OM, Wayne County Airport versus Diane Williams. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:30 a.m. It's now 11:26 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. Good morning, Garcia.
Morning, Judge. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm gonna bring up here. Step up, please, sir. There you go. The
We'll
judge
get
is
Mr.
right
Brown moved into a breakout room with Mr. Hadley, and then when they're ready, they'll come back into this main session.
there. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. This is 24VB016860M Van Buren Township versus Paul McIntosh. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:40 a.m. It's now 11:27 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matter will be set for show cause. This is 2003930T. This is Wayne County Airport versus Jamisha Farr. This case was scheduled for final pretrial at 9:40 a.m. It's now 11:28 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matter will be set for show cause. Two four WM 013970M Wayne County Airport versus Crystal Lennon. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:50 a.m. It's now 11:29 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 24WM013930M Wayne County Airport versus Andrew Robinette. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:50 a.m. It's now 11:29 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 24WM014090M Wayne County Airport versus Renitha Thomas. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10 a.m. It's now 11:30 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matter will be set for show cause. On the left. Thank you. This is 24WM014260M Wayne County Airport versus Keith Moore. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10:10 a.m. It's now 11:30 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause.
Sorry about that, Mr.
This
Hadley.
is, I'm sorry, Garcia, did you say something?
Yeah, I apologize. We accidentally cut off Counselor, but we're all set.
Garcia, I moved you guys. You guys are good.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. This is 24WM00294A. This is Wayne County Airport versus Reginald Brown Jr. May I have your appearance, please?
Morning, Your Honor. Attorney Josh Hadley appearing on behalf of Mr. Reginald Brown for arraignment. Mr. Brown, please state your name for the court.
Reginald Bernard Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Hadley, how are we proceeding with the arraignment?
Your Honor, we'll waive the formal reading and enter a plea of not guilty at this time.
Mr. Brown, are you able to hear Mr. Hadley?
Yes, Your Honor.
He's waived your right to have the formal reading of the complaint against you. He's asked the court to enter a non-guilty plea. The court has done that. Sir, you have a right to be considered for pretrial release. The recommendation from the airport indicates neither. It indicates that there is outstanding warrants and there's a misdemeanor. It makes no comment as to bond. Mr. Hadley, your comment as to bond in this matter.
Your Honor, we would ask for a personal recognizance bond on this matter. Mr. Brown was hospitalized due to some kidney failure issues previously. That's why he was not availing himself to the court prior. considering the nature of the offense and his intent to appear moving forward, we would ask the court just to issue the PR bond.
Thank you. Mr. Brown, the court will set your bond at $3,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Your return date to court will be on July the 18th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. That will be back on Zoom with me, Judge Martin, here in courtroom number 1. Again, this case number is 24WM00294A. Next appearance date, July 18th at 10:30 a.m. Court staff will prepare notice for you. Is there anything else, Mr. Hadley?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Brown?
No, ma'am.
I'll see you on July 18th. Have a good afternoon, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. And I think we're past our cutoff time, so if there's nothing else,
Have a good day to you and your staff.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Garcia. These are 24WM01378A, B, and C. These are Wayne County Airport versus Michael Davis Lombard. These cases were scheduled at 10:20 a.m. It's now 11:34 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the A file, which is a civil infraction, will be deemed in default. The B and C file misdemeanors will be set for show cause. These are 24WM01391A and B and C, 21WM00799, 21WM00850, 22WM00490, 23WM00197, 23WM00209, 23WM00209, excuse me, A and B, 23WM00219. How is that possible? 219. OM and 23WM00414. These are all Wayne County Airport versus Tremaine Young. The cases that end in 391, A, B, and C are the only new files. The rest of the files are already in warrant status and will stay that way. For the cases scheduled this morning for arraignment pretrial at 10:20 a.m. It's now 11:36 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, matters will be set for show cause. All right then. Thank you, ma'am. These are 24WM 01427 A and B and 23WM 01636. These are all Wayne County Airport versus Norman Hayes. These cases were scheduled at 10:30 a.m. for arraignment pretrial. It's now 11:37 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the 1636 is in warrant status and will stay that way. The 1427 A and B will be set for show cause. This is 2307350M. This is Van Buren Township versus Nikki Cachero. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10:30 a.m. It's now 11:39 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, the case already in warrant status. It will stay that way. Hey, Mary Ann, that's the last file I have. That completes this court's docket for the day. We will stand adjourned until tomorrow morning.